This bowl is in honor of the exquisite ones who expired extending isthmuses into the unknown. Salutations. Obeisance. I'll back up just a little bit. Mine had ever heard the sound of hills swallowing inconceivable pills, causing a species of intoxication like a feces that makes great bombs go off in the head, about the nature of this and that until one becomes very matter of fact about such things. The ringing sound I hear in the air that draws no one's stares, for they don't care enough. It is my undoing on certain days. I fucked up. Because this happy sound of bells amongst the birds and the crackling weeds is for me and me only. For everywhere I go, I listen to sounds imperceivable, inferred, words coming up from the side of the road in thickets of thirsty weeds, riotous and brazen, in thick sunlight, strumming chords of Mixolydian insistence, the violent hiatus of sound in microbursts rebound, unheard and profound forms like a whore torn apart and shrieking musically in art form, forming a druid cathexis of complexities deeper than manifold hexagrams juxtaposed, and in that complex of rex and ring, as if so many kings had been superimposed on each other, forming morose stacks tangled in wild interpose of feature and scepter, of crown and corn, costume, gout, this one smiling, this one smiling, this one pouting, and it is in this wilderness of this mesmerizing cadenza on the very brim of being that makes me stomp my feet and tap my fingers, for the pealy ringing of thirsty creatures fecund in the weeds is the last elastic thing I will ever see with my ears conform to all forms of bastard normalcy, when the hideous and the curious form a binary pulsar of frightening intricacy that beams to the brain intermittently the potentiality of sublimity. And it is Saundra in tirade and mazy crazes of the blistered regions scorched beneath the season of a topaz sun infernal, the gentle incubus, the soft torture of this moisture inexistent on the air and yet felt all the same in the aft parts of the human brain. For it always seems to me that I always find myself at dusk sort of looking around as the clowns going here and there on the 44 squares of this town in the middle of nowhere, high in the mountains and pregnant with decimated rock and shattered mountain, crying long lugubrious tears of scree, of fragments split and tabernacles of crushed stone mushed into erroneous piles along the road going up into foothills around here, spots which see the town in which I live integrated like a vine up the sides of high alpine ridges of belligerent rock, impacted, smashed into crazy shaped objects, chipped, bitter in the wind, the cactus needles feeling the air of rare comparison, for the garrison of the sky is crumbling like a 6-week-old dumpling left out in the sun, and the cumulus cummerbund of cloud in high recalcitrance against the manful hand of wind, in ecstatic infarctions of a heart combusting with steam and burst that is Saundra's elegance, her crushing, inexorable, diabolical delicacy, the hysterectomy of which aborts the favors afforded to the horror of the air, who in rare displays flays the dawn with cat o' nine tails and broken dinner bells, and turning my face to the blast of air furious from the valleys of happy chicanery of gust in omnibus wind scintillating to my skin, which grips it with tendons, trembling with chill, the cursive quill of dust calligraphy ancient as the light that blights its dark ink and makes it glow with ferocious candle power of 1,000 electrical towers revved to the very heavens, And through it all this exquisite mauling of the atmosphere, souped with ruined photons in wanton mote in loquacious stencil, in which the alphabet of hectic beams of light reamed the queen, beseeching the sky to lower itself on one knee, the trees exploding in marvelous pageantry, with leaves receiving hot zephyr and mesmeric puffs that enliven the branches as if they were phantasms waving from the astral fields to us heels who happen to exist in this prison of vile opulence called the toppling world, crushed beneath this thing called violence of color, the stylus in the sky writing all this. That's all I got. Take it slow.